I swore an oath, Chuck, that I would uphold the Constitution of the state of North Carolina, our United States Constitution and the laws of the state of North Carolina, our federal laws. And when I raised my hand and I swore my oath, I meant it. And at that point, a lot was cast. It didn't matter whether a Republican Party leader came to me and said, hey, I really need you to go soft on this issue because it might hurt our federal candidate if you start running your mouth a whole lot about this issue. I would look at them and say, I don't give a tinker's damn. My job is to serve my constituents back in Cornelius, Huntersville, and Davidson. Listen, here is how the politician works. They're the ones that cause all the problems to begin with, and the reason that they cause these problems is so they can justify their existence in the future and say, hey, look how smart we are, we fixed it. Well, you caused the problem in the first place. But let me share with you how an elected official or a representative will cloak, is what we call it. They'll be for an issue and say, this is the best thing in the world, until the public gets wind that there's a skunk in the mix. And then when the public starts to raise the flame and come to the gate with the pitchfork, then the elected gets scared and they say, well, gosh, the people know about this now. There are too many people talking about it. We're exposed. Oh my. You know, so what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to be against it now. I'm going to fight against it now. And there's so many. Don't let your politicians, don't let your elected representatives get off the hook when they know darn well they've been in support of something that now they're saying that they're against, and they're run scared.
What do you feel about the Robert Brawley situation? Can you explain to the viewers, you know, what you know of that situation?
You know, what I do know about that is I believe that he was one that spoke out. He spoke out against leadership. The leadership didn't like it, and they came after him and they got him unelected. It's the very same MO from the same political consultants, from the very same politicians or the political cliques that goes on. And, you know, folks really need to understand that these are not people that are for us. They're not for the citizens. They're for themselves. And the same response was in Chapter 1 of the John Rhodes era, serving up in Raleigh, and now we go to Chapter 2, going after another perp in elected office. It's the same story every time. It's a cycle. When the Democrats are in charge, you got the Democrats in, you know, shenanigans. When the Republicans are in charge, you got them going with shenanigans. None of them are sanctimonious. So we fast forward and we have this toll road issue. And, you know, I had not been really involved in anything. I pretty much disconnected. I said, you know, if the folks want to have someone up there that's going to be effective at getting them toll roads, effective at tax increases, effective at prostituting their legislative body, then, you know, that's the people. You know, they're going to have to learn the hard way. Well, look what choosing an effective person that said they were going to be effective has done. This community is absolutely divided and in an uproar over what this elected official effectively did to the people of this community. And that's either they're going to get toll roads for the next 50 years by a foreign company. Now, I want to tell you, talk about thumbing your nose at the contractors of this country. I don't care whether that contractor came from Pennsylvania or California to build that toll road, but Spain, across the ocean, some foreign entity, when there are good American companies that would put their men and women to work today on that toll road. Why go to Spain? Why go to Spain? The question is out there, and I think it adds a lot of to be desired. The answers that we've gotten, well, there have been no answers. So I pulled a second ethics investigation on what would become later the Senate candidate and now the senator up in Washington pulling his tricks up there, Tom Tillis, and pulled another ethics complaint revolving the I-77 toll roads and a new interchange that they're supposed to put near a community, what's it called, Augusta Lee. Yeah, well, I saw a news report that really concerned me and said that Tillis donors stand to make millions off of a new interchange here. You know, I'm one citizen. I have a home and property and a family to take care of. I don't have a legal staff of 50 people that I'm subsidized by the government to fight against corrupt politicians. I don't. You know, if they want to go hide up in Washington, D.C., they can do that. But, you know, I think the important thing is that it's been documented. I think the important thing is that it's on record now that this is happening. And, you know, if these toll roads go through, there's going to be a timeline of 50 years. And if there are any hiccups between the present day and those 50 years, then they'll be able to take out those historical documents and those issues that we filed with the state and said, I think you need to look at this a little more closely. I think that there are some concerning issues surrounding this elected official and surrounding this issue. And, you know, it's there for eternity. It's not going to go. If they don't have it, I've got it buried. I've got it buried in a mason jar over by one of those fence posts over there. So if they burn it up at the state or try to scrub it at the state, we've got a copy of it. So, you know,
that's wonderful.
It's hard for the documentation to go away there.
That is fantastic. What is your opinion of Governor McCrory? You know, it seemed as if Governor McCrory and Tom Tillis were pretty good buddies throughout McCrory's tenure as governor and Mr. Tillis as speaker. Seems like they were in pretty good cahoots with each other. McCrory now laying down the gauntlet and saying we're moving forward with these toll roads that Tom Tillis has pushed on us. What is your opinion of McCrory, what he's done through his career in Charlotte, and especially what he's doing right now with this toll road situation?
Well, he's actually, the governor of this state is thumbing his nose at the citizens of this state right now. He's basically giving them the one-finger salute. And for any kids watching, don't explain what that is, but we adults know what that is. He's basically thumbing his nose at the people of this state, and he's giving them the one-finger salute. There's no less than that. This is an Obama-generated plan. It is an Agenda 21 plan, and the end game is to control how people commute and whatnot. And the cost of this alone, for any Republican to say, you know, first of all, we've got to get beyond the fact that Republican has anything to do with conservatism. It's like a light year away from that, and a light year is a long distance. It's the distance light travels in a year, and light travels at about 186,000 miles a second. So there's this great chasm between conservatism and the Republican Party or Republican label. So please make sure that you share a message with your citizens that listen to what you have to say and what you report on, that at one time, yes, there was a place where the two were married, but no longer. There really is no opposition party. It's the political ruling class beating up on us, the citizens, and we have very little power other than the great things that you and others do, and for citizens to be informed and speaking out. But he's thumbing the nose at citizens and basically saying, I don't care what you say, I don't care what you want, this is what's going to happen. Obama wants it, so I'm for it. Just like with Obamacare. You know, had myself or some others been in elected office or in a position of leadership, we would have fought the president on this issue. We would have gone to the mat with the president on this issue. I think it's one big package. It's the Agenda 21 package, you know, and what is the grandiose plan for transportation? How do we control all these masses of people? You know, I think government's a little scared that there are more of them than there are of us. We need to know how to control these people, you know. It's like, gosh, there are 120 members of the legislature and there are 8.5 million North Carolinians. If they decided that they really wanted to get angry at us, I guess they could take over the building immediately. You know, 120 versus 8.5 million. The odds are kind of stacked against the politicians there. But I think government is probably thinking, you know, there are more and more people in our country, and we really need to know how to manage these people, manage this herd of cattle, so to speak, before they get out of hand. And one of them is how do we control transportation? You know, what are they saying? $20 to $40 round trip from Mooresville? Well, I'm not going to be able to pay that. I don't think many people would be able to pay that. So we, the people who have paid the taxes and the industries that have paid the taxes for years, are sitting there stuck on the highway listening to the radio for an hour while everybody zips by because they have the ability to pay $20 to $40 when they could have widened those roads and everybody could have gotten a free lane for what, 1/10 the cost. For the citizens, I would say, don't be afraid to speak out against your representatives, your senators and your representatives, both at a local, state, and federal level. You need to remember that they work for you. A lot of people say, "Oh, we need to be respectful." Well, it's okay to get a little noisy and get a little pushy with your elected representatives. It's quite okay to do that. Many of them deserve it. You know, everybody says, "Oh no, you have to be respectful." Well, how respectful is it to jam a toll road down the people of this state's throat by the governor and the guy who instigated it, Tom Tillis, and the same people now that are trying to hide in the tall grass, John Bradford and Jeff Tart, and try to hide like a bunch of tigers in the tall grass, when they're the ones that are absolutely, this toll road is going to be laid at their feet. All four of those scoundrels. These toll roads are going to be a direct reflection of them because somebody was too nice and they didn't really, put them against the wall and say, "Why are you doing this?" Well, a lot of people are saying it now, but they're in office, and they're going to go ahead and give these toll roads to the public anyway. Well, goodness gracious, the public needs to be absolutely outraged about this. I've watched you guys. I've watched y'all out there protest from the very beginning. I saw the Sarah McCauley be so disrespectful to the group that said we want to stop these things back when it was just a small little issue that could have easily been extinguished. Where it was just a small little thing they could have said, "Okay, we're just not going to push this bill anymore. The people have spoken, we've heard their concerns back home, and we're going to honor them." Well, they didn't honor the people. They just railroaded them. So the people of North Carolina need to railroad them back right out of office. Put them on a rail and run them out of office for being so disrespectful to we the people. I mean, that is disrespectful for an elected official to absolutely just not listen to their constituents in a district. And look at the harm it's going to do us. These toll roads are not going to do anything good. But let's use the toll roads. There are many other issues, not just the toll roads. There are many other issues. The toll roads are just one that's kind of bubbled to the top, and it's a big PR thing. A lot of people see it now and can see it, and they're conscious. But how many other offensive things are going on that citizens don't even know about because groups just don't have time? We don't have the staff. They don't have the staff to be able to, to bring these things to light. There are many other issues as big or larger than the tolls. This is just one that's caught traction. How many other offensive issues are there that these politicians are cooking up for us to hurt us in the future? Let me just share this with you. This may be very surprising. Jim Black, and I pray for the man, I pray for his family. He is not the most evil, wicked person. He served in office. He made some mistakes. Those same mistakes are being made by Republicans and Democrats to the 10th degree, even worse. They just haven't been caught yet. But I'll tell you this, many of them will be caught. They will be caught. They might think I'm an old curmudgeon, but if they see me loving on my dog, they might think that's a pretty nice man, okay? He's got a pretty handsome dog.
Oh, Sarge.